So let me just introduce our guests here. Gordon Perry here is with HNTB. HNTB has been at the core of TopoDOT's tools development and improvement over 10 years. And your input and from the customer experience side has been quite invaluable. So Gordon, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Can you introduce yourself for the audience, please?
Sure. My name is Gordon Perry. I go by Gordo. I am HNTB's Geospatial Systems Development Specialist / lead. I'm a land surveyor, professional land surveyor by trade, and I've been in the LiDAR space for over a decade now. And that parallels with the amount of time that I've been involved with you guys at TopoDOT.
Great, great. So how did you came to be so involved with rail projects for HNTB using LiDAR data?
For a brief period of time on the survey service provider side, I worked with a company in the Southwest United States that acquired the fourth mobile mapping system in the country. And everybody was at that time, 10 years ago, everybody that was getting into the mobile LiDAR space was in the highway space. And I had a pretty extensive background in conventional surveying in the railroad space. And through a series of events, a demonstration was done with a mobile mapping machine on a railroad. And the firm that I was with at the time, we took the data and we started making maps of railroads from it. And that's really been the focal point of my work in the mobile LiDAR space. Yes, I do highway work and some other things, but the main focus has always been in railroading, which is what brought me back to HNTB to lead their LiDAR operations.
That sounds great. So because we worked so intimately at the beginning in developing all these rail tools for you guys based on your user experience, what can you tell me about how TopoDOT improve your process, and do you have any specific examples about this rail tool development?
There was a lot of great collaboration with folks and staff at TopoDOT as we at HNTB dove deeper into rail projects using mobile LiDAR information. And what we were able to do was to take the conventional survey practices for processing data to extract out tracks and all of what we call trackside furniture, switches, switch motors, signals, overhead catenary OCS structures and wires and that. And we just shared that with TopoDOT at the very beginning, and Mauricio and others took all our input and they just started building these tools so that we just became very productive at extracting things out. And of course, in the beginning, it was all manual extraction. Hey, we want to extract track out every 10 feet, 25 feet, what have you. And we had those tools, and you guys, TopoDOT did their homework with ARIMA and found different tools that they had and utilized standards that they had developed, such as rail weight templates and things, and just made those available. And then it's just progressed along the way where you can do auto extraction by building templates to scan the rail. So instead of manually going every whatever your distance is, 50, 25 feet, 10 feet, whatever, we build those templates with the help of you guys showing us how to do it. And now we're doing auto extraction along the rails.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, I remember going through all the templates for standard sizes and building those cells here. So it was a research effort that we had to implement all of this information. And some people don't even know that those come standard with TopoDOT, all those cells and templates.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a great opportunity for people to find out more about how to use those automatic rail tools. But
Well, and the other thing to mention here, Jen, is so as you guys did research with ARIMA and we got together and reviewed what had been done, you also TopoDOT also built options that are now standards within TopoDOT. So you guys followed the protocol of ARIMA, and for extracting out rail, you followed ARIMA's protocol where you provided the gauge points. And we have many designers here at HNTB that didn't necessarily want the gauge point of the track. They wanted the top center line of the railhead. And I can remember going round and round with, a couple of times with Mauricio and go, no, I mean, I understand the gauge point, but what I want is we want top center line of the railhead. And we came to the conclusion, it's like, okay, well, we'll just provide both. And that's a standard. Now that's a standard. When you go into the rail tools, that's a standard option. Are you going to take the top center line of the railhead, or are you going to take the gauge point? And it works both ways. We have the ability to do both tools.
Yes, and that sort of input is so valuable to us because we could come up with many automatic tools, make it as fast as accurate as possible, but knowing those, that important information that you need to generate or create for designers, engineers, is what we really appreciate from customers like you. So now let's switch back a little bit to your experience with customer support and training from TopoDOT. What can you tell us about that?
Well, as I tell everyone that gets involved with LiDAR extraction at HNTB, you're not going to find better customer support or better technical support than you do at TopoDOT. You guys are always there at the end of the 10-digit numbers that we dial in. Even in COVID, somebody takes down your name and number, and within a very reasonable time, you guys are back, and you're always a phone call away. It's always there. It is the best customer or technical support, I should say, the best tech support of any applications that I use here, and the people that do LiDAR. I'll speak for myself. It's the best tech support of any technical applications that I do at HNTB.
Great, that's great to hear. Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that we are available and that we can answer your questions. A lot of times we answer questions that are not TopoDOT related, so it's a matter of just a phone call away. How do you think that is also help you maybe train within your organization or support your staff internally?
There's a couple of points here to be made. One, I don't wait to get into a problem to call you guys. There'll be something new that we're going to do, and we can discuss this a little bit farther in one of our most recent tech support calls. Looking for a new routine, looking for a new workflow for something that we have not done before. And it's a collaboration that you and I have developed over the years. The other thing is that I get people involved. I get people involved in LiDAR extraction, and I'll show them the basic tools, but the first thing that we do is we exchange the phone number to you, Jen, to TopoDOT. And it's like, I can show you how this is done, but when you have a question, it's not that I'm trying to pass them off. It's you guys need to call. You need to call TopoDOT, because they're going to answer. They're going to be able to answer the more in-depth questions. I mean, I'm a guy that has trouble when somebody sets up the machine for the first time with TopoDOT and the palette of all the TopoDOT tools doesn't show up, and they're doing drag down menus and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know where that is. You got to call TopoDOT.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yeah, we got a lot of users, MicroStation users that rely on the TopoDOT toolbar to find all their tools. So that's great to hear. What about what do you think the future of point cloud surveying, especially on rail, is here in the States? What do you see is trending, or where are we going in terms of surveying and mapping on rail?
I think in the surveying and mapping industry, I just think that I think LiDAR is just going to continue to grow with the different platforms from drones and vehicles and high rail vehicles, and putting these sensors on boats, and being able to push cart technology. And I saw a video the other day of a mechanical dog. I'm sorry, I don't know all the terms, but
here's this, like a robot.
I think it was called WAG, and this dog was. This dog is this dog drone is walking through high-rise construction building. I think LiDAR, from a surveying and mapping perspective, because you're getting thousands of 3D survey grade points when the data is controlled correctly. That is, you're immersing yourself in the environment, and you're not at the mercy of a single survey point at some predetermined interval. So I think LiDAR will be a common tool for surveying and mapping, and because it allows you to go back and reuse the data again and again and again. And we've been working, you and I, Jennifer, have been working on rail projects for a good part of those 10 years that I've been involved in this. And there's the typical stuff that we do. Here's tracks, here's OCS structures, here's trackside features and that. But we're now starting to dive deeper into the data sets, and pulling out something that some people would call even more obscure, but we can see it with LiDAR. So I just think that it's just going to become a more important tool in the survey toolbox.
Definitely, yeah, it's gonna be more prevalent. It's gonna be more ubiquitous, and it's going to it's like you said, it's going to be a little bit easier to collect maybe, and there's going to be more avenues to collect the data now with all of these robotics and drone technology. So definitely we'll see a lot more point clouds in the future. Well, thank you, Gordon, for your time, and I wanted to just show your appreciation here at TopoDOT for really implementing TopoDOT into your mapping and surveying routines, and basically just making it a standard at HNTB. It really takes people like you who take it, digest it, really kind of implement it within an organization for it to be successful for everybody else. And you being such a loyal customer and always giving us a call, even when it's just a matter of, most complex situations to the simplest questions. We love to hear from you. So Thank you for sharing your experience with us. And we hope that 2021 is a more successful year for you and for HNTB. Keep up the great work.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you today, Jen. I really appreciate it. Obviously, HNTB is a big supporter and a big believer in what you guys are doing at TopoDOT. And you guys are always there to help us. Most of the time, you help me personally with the user errors. I overlook something. You know, it's the simple stuff. You take care of the. I call you and ask you for workflows for complex things, and you provide those answers pretty quickly. And then I seem to forget, have to call you back a few times for the missing parts. So your time is always greatly appreciated.
Great, great. And yeah, and to remind our viewers, and we have staff here in the United States that takes care of clients, not just here, but all over the world. We also have a couple of remote offices in Europe, China, and Australia that are now taking care of customers in different time zones. So it's definitely growing, and we are trying to keep that personable or experience with technical support, making sure that we get you up and running as soon as possible. So TopoDOT is growing, and it's been 10 years, but we hope that there are many, many more. All right, Gordo, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time. Have a
Thank you, Jennifer.
good day. No problem.